This was an absolute train wreck for Donald Trump. What we just witnessed at the White House wasn't a press conference, and it was a public meltdown dressed up as a campaign infomercial. Trump shuffled out looking pale and totally out of it. He gave this bizarre speech from what used to be the Rose Garden, the historic spot that every president treated with dignity, but not Trump. He bulldozed it and renamed it Club Rose Garden, his private billionaire playground. And while Trump rambled, you could literally hear the construction. Bulldozers, cranes, heavy equipment ripping apart the east wing of the White House. And what does Trump say? He smiles and calls it the sound of money. You can't make this up.
That sound, oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money.
Yeah, that's the sound of taxpayer-funded self-worship, Donald. Then he turns and gives a weird shout-out to Russ Vought, the guy behind Project 2025, the same extremist plan to dismantle government programs that Americans rely on. Trump literally calls him Darth Vader.
And I will say this, that we have Darth Vader. You know Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader is a man who, I think he's sitting right. Is that Darth? Stand up, please, Darth Vader. Stand up. Does everybody know? They call him Darth Vader. I call him a fine man. But he's cutting Democrat priorities, and they're never going to get him back. And they've caused us, and they've really allowed us to do it. And by the way, thank you. You're doing a great job, I have to tell you. So really a great job.
Yeah, great. He's bragging about destroying Medicaid, education, and healthcare while calling it a great job. And then, get this. Trump starts again with his delusional story about finding billions of dollars on some imaginary tariff shelf.
We're a wealthy country again. Last week, as you know, they found $31 billion. They came to see me, sir. We found $31 billion. They said, we don't know why. I said, was this a good find or a bad find? It was a good find. It was a plus 31. We're used to finding negative 31s, right, for the last 30 years. I said, check the tariff shelf. Well, those tariffs haven't kicked in. Yes, they did. They kicked in 2 months ago. Check it. He comes back 2 hours later. Sir, you were right. We have an additional $31 billion, billion, not million, Lindsay, billion, that we just found from tariffs. They kicked in earlier than we thought. You were right.
This man talks about running the country like he's checking the couch cushions for spare change. None of it's real. Deficits are higher than ever. Debt is skyrocketing. And he's bragging like he just fixed the economy by waving a magic wand. Then he goes off about how his new budget bill, the one that guts social programs, somehow saves Medicare and Social Security.
It's so bad. You know, they said death. It was like death. And there's nothing about death. Theirs is death. Because they're going to lose Medicaid, they're going to lose Social Security, they're going to lose Medicare. All of those things are going to be gone because the whole country would be bankrupt and you're not going to have any kind of medical insurance. So with us, it's the opposite. And it's a great bill. We don't need any more. And I want to just say from the beginning, our message has been very simple. We will not be extorted on this crazy plot of theirs.
Then comes one of the most unhinged stories I've ever heard a former president tell. Out of nowhere, he starts talking about JFK's swimming pool and how Jackie Kennedy supposedly heard girls in there.
And we've had press conferences. We finished it about a month ago. This is, as you see over here, the Presidential Walk of Fame. And we had this long wall with half windows because that used to be a swimming pool on the other side of the wall. That was the swimming pool where Jackie would say, I hear women inside. Are women inside? Quite a famous, I'm not saying anything, this was a part of a movie. And the Secret Service said, no ma'am, there's no women inside, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am, you're gonna have to move along. But I hear women inside. No ma'am, you'll have to move along, ma'am. So that was the famous swimming pool. Now it's even worse. It's for the media. They covered the pool up. They covered the pull-up, and now it's for the media. And I think we have a small representative group. I don't think they allowed the rest of them. I can't believe it. What happened? They're all on the other side of the wall. Can you believe?
Why is he talking about that? What does that have to do with anything? His brain just ping-pongs between delusion and nostalgia for gossip he half remembers from a tabloid. Then he actually brags that historians say he's the third best president after Washington and Lincoln, and then corrects them, saying he's better because he ended 8 wars.
So we did the Presidential Walk of Fame from the great George Washington all the way to, well, I think we have to rate him above me. So he's less than great, less than George. Somebody went up there, they say, You're the third best president in the United States. This was on television, third best. And they said, who are the first two? George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. And I got extremely angry at this man. You know, you can't, it's going to be tough to beat, Mr. Senator. It's going to be, John, it's going to be very tough to beat Washington and Lincoln, but we're going to give it a try, right? Hey, they didn't put out 8 wars, 9 coming, all right? We put out 8 wars, and the 9th is coming, believe it or not.
8 wars where, in his imagination, the only battle he's fighting is with reality. Trump then claims he's saving the White House by destroying it. He says ripping it apart is taking care of it.
This has been a labor of love. You know, we took over a building that was not properly taken care of. It just wasn't. It's a very special building, and we are taking care of it. This was grass, and when you have a news conference, and this was going on for many years, but everybody would just sink into the mud. It was extremely luxurious grass, especially when it was raining, because you'd go down about 5 inches into the mud. And when we had a press conference here, all the press standing back there, they'd be cursing me. The women would be lifting up their shoes saying, "You've destroyed my shoes. This is terrible." So we got a stone that's the exact same stone and color as the White House itself, because we wanted the friendly feeling of that light color. And it reflects the sun, and it keeps you cool even in the summer.
Yeah, nothing says historic preservation like tearing down national landmarks to build a golden ballroom. And right when you think he can't get more disgusting, he does. He starts talking about how because of him, senators' wives won't get assaulted in D.C. anymore.
He's unbelievable. You people, you can walk down the middle of the street, Mr. Senator. You can walk down. You can have your wife meet you at the restaurant, and she's not going to be accosted, shot, beat up, raped. It's unbelievable how bad it was. It was one of the worst in the country, and now it's stone cold. I don't say the word perfect, but it's pretty damn.
Finally, he praises Senator Tim Scott, but says he prefers maniacs to speak for him.
He got out of the race. He endorsed me almost immediately. And I used him as a surrogate. And I wasn't sure if I should, because, you know, sometimes I want a total lunatic to get up and fight for me. And Tim is a really good person.
And while they're out there pretending Trump is some kind of Vegas showman, millions of Americans are losing their health care. Rural hospitals are closing. Families can't afford groceries. Rent is sky high. People are drowning financially. And Trump's turning the people's house into a private club. These Republicans think we're stupid. They think they can distract us with gold drapes and Elvis mashups while they rob us blind. We see it. We feel it. We live it every day. So yeah, this was a press conference technically, but it was also a warning of what happens when corruption becomes the brand.